Dear children, these are the main topics we are discussing today. Dear children, this is a small introduction about this chapter. In this chapter, it discusses how the company came to colonize the countryside, organize revenue resources, redefine the rights of people, and produce the crops it wanted. The first topic is the company becomes the Diwan. The East India Company became the Diwan of Bengal on 12th August 1765. Please underline the point. The East India Company became the Diwan of Bengal on 12th August 1765. As Diwan, the company became the chief financial administrator of the territory under its control. The company needed to administer the land and organize its revenue resources. It needed to be done in a way that could yield enough revenue to meet the growing expenses of the company. The next topic is revenue for the company, or how did the company get the revenue. The company's aim was to increase the revenue to buy fine cotton and silk cloth as cheaply as possible. So what was the main aim of the company? To increase the revenue to buy fine cotton and silk cloth cheaply. Within a span of 5 years, the value of goods brought by the company in Bengal doubled or increased. The company before 1865 purchased goods in India by importing gold and silver from Britain. So please underline the point. In 1865, the company purchased goods in India by importing gold and silver from Britain. Now it was financed by the revenue collected in Bengal. Artisans' production was in decline. That means agricultural production was a decline and agricultural cultivation showed sign of collapse. So then in 1770, a terrible famine was killed 10 million people in Bengal. So underline the line. In 1770, a terrible famine was happened in Bengal and killed 10 million people. The next topic is the need to improve agriculture, or how to improve agriculture by the company. The need to improve agriculture. In 1793, the company introduced the permanent settlement. Dear children, please underline the point. In 1793, the company introduced the permanent settlement. The main purpose is to improve agriculture. By the terms of the settlement, the Rajas and Talukas were recognized as Samindars, who were asked to collect rent from the peasants and pay revenue to the company. So the company given chance to Rajas and Talukas, who were known as Samindars, who collected rent from the peasants and pay to the company. The amount to be paid was fixed permanently. So the amount was fixed. This settlement would ensure a regular flow of revenue into the company's offers and at the same time encourage the zamindars to invest in improving the land. So dear children, don't forget what is permanent settlement. What are the main aim of Britishers? To improve agriculture. The next one is, what was permanent settlement? The permanent settlement, also known as the permanent settlement of Bengal, was an agreement between the East India Company and Bengali landlords to fix revenues to be raised from land that had far-reaching consequences for both agricultural methods and productivity in the entire British Empire and the political. The permanent settlement was introduced by Lord Cornwallis, the Governor General of India. So underline or keep note the point. Who introduced the permanent settlement? Lord Cornwallis. He was one of the Governor General of India.
This was a land revenue system introduced by Lord Cornwallis. This system was introduced in Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, present-day Odisha, and some parts of the Madras Presidency. This was a 10-year settlement in which land was auctioned off to the highest bidder. They were expected to pay a fixed amount as tax, and the date of payment was also fixed. On the one hand, the permanent settlement created a group of loyalists called zamindars in Bengal and Bihar. On the other hand, it ensured a regular fixed income for the company. They did not own the land. They only acted as revenue collectors between the company and cultivators. The British had thought that the zamindars would invest in new technologies to increase produce or fertility of land. Greater produce would translate into greater profits for zamindars, as the revenue they had to pay the company was fixed under the new policy. However, zamindars made no efforts to improve it. They had the right to remove tenants from their land or seize the land belonging to a cultivator on non-payment of dues. All these factors left the cultivators in pitiable conditions.
The next topic is the problem. The permanent settlements created problems. Soon, the company officials discovered that the zamindars were not investing in the improvement of land because the fixed revenue was very high. Why the permanent settlement created problem? Because the fixed revenue was very high. By the first decade of 19th century, the situation changed. The prices in the market rose and cultivation slowly expanded. Even then, the zamindars were not interested in improving the land. In the villages, the cultivator found the system extremely oppressive. The rent they paid to the zamindar was high, so they took a loan from the money lender. And when they failed to pay the rent, they were evicted from the land. Evicted means to force someone to move out of a property. So they failed to pay the rent, they were evicted from the land. That means the agriculture people evicted from the land. The next main topic is a new system is devised. The company officials decided to change the system of revenue. After that, Holt Mackenzie devised the new system which came to be effect in 1822. Holt Mackenzie was an Englishman who devised or introduced a new system which came to effect in 1822. So underline the line. Under his direction, collectors went from village to village, inspecting the land, measuring the field, and recording the customs and rights of different groups of people. So what was the duty of a collector? He went from village to village, inspecting the land, measuring the field, and recording the customs and the rights of people. The estimated revenue of each plot within a village was added up to calculate the revenue that each village, otherwise known as mahal, had to pay. This demand was to be revised periodically, not permanently fixed. The charge of collecting the revenue and paying it to the company was given to the village headman. So the main duty of village headman was to pay the revenue to the company, and he was collecting the revenue and paying the company rather than the zamindars. This system came to be known as Mahalwari settlement. So Mahalwari settlement was a new system introduced by an Englishman known as Holt Mackenzie in 1822. The next small topic is what was Mahalwari system. The Mahalwari system was introduced by Holt Mackenzie in 1882. He was an Englishman. He introduced a new system which came to be known as Mahalwari system. The word Mahalwari is derived from the Hindi word Mahal, which means house, a district, neighborhood or quarter. The system consisted of landlords claiming to present entire villages or even groups of villages. So Mahalwari system was a new system introduced by Holt Mackenzie in 1882. The next small topic is what are the features of Mahalwari system. Collectors went from village to village, inspecting the land, measuring the field, and recording customs and the rights of different groups. Revenue was not fixed, rather revised periodically. So this was the main features of Mahalwari system. The next topic is the Monroe system. Monroe system is a system in which the farmer was declared as the owner of the land. This was one of the important feature of Monroe system. According to this system, the farmers was declared as the owner of the land. The company made a revenue settlement directly with the peasants. That means the taxes were directly collected from the farmers. It was developed by Thomas Monroe in 1820. Thomas Monroe was a governor of Madras in 1819. Hence, the system came to be known as Monroe system, otherwise known as Wright-Warre system. So, Wright-Warre system was a new system introduced by Thomas Monroe in 1820. The next one is, what was a right-of-way system? The right-of-way system was a land revenue system in British India, introduced by Thomas Munro. In this system, the peasants or cultivators were regarded as the owners of the land. The taxes were directly collected by the government from the peasants. Underline the line. The taxes were directly collected by the government from the peasants. This system of land revenue was instituted in the late 18th century by Thomas Munro. He was the governor of Madras. This was practiced in the Madras and Bombay areas as well as Assam and Kur provinces. The last topic is, all was not well. It means that the new system were imposed by the company clear that all was not well, because the company official fixed the revenue was too high. As a result, the peasants were unable to pay. Riots flooded the countryside and the village became deserted in many regions. As a result, all was not well.
Hello friends, this is Ram. He lives in Daulatabad, a village near Agra in Uttar Pradesh. His father is the village administrative officer. He helps in maintaining the records, collects land revenues, protects the rights of the tenants, sorts out the disputes over them, issues certificates to farmers for loans after inspection of records, etc. How do you think the East India Company performed such administrations along the countryside? We already learned that the Mughal emperor appointed the East India Company as Diwan of Bengal on the 12th of August 1765. As a Diwan, the company became the chief financial administrator of the territory under its control. Though the company had become the Diwan, it still saw itself primarily as a trader. They were keen in increasing their revenue and buy fine cotton and silk cloth as cheaply as possible. Before 1865, the company had purchased goods in India by importing gold and silver from Britain, and now the revenue collected in Bengal could finance them in purchase of goods for export. Due to this, the Bengal economy was facing a deep crisis. What do you think could have been the changes in life of common men in Bengal? Artisans were deserting villages since they were being forced to sell their goods to the company at low prices. Peasants were unable to pay the dues that were being demanded from them. Artisanal production was in decline and agricultural cultivation showed signs of collapse. And thus, in 1770, a terrible famine killed 10 million people in Bengal and about one-third of the population was wiped out. Could the company be certain of its revenue income during such crisis? The company officials began to feel the uncertainty in revenue and hence the need for investment in land and agriculture was foreseen, and thus the system of permanent settlement was introduced in 1793. By the terms of this settlement, the Rajas and Talukdars were recognized as Jamindars.